So, let me tell you a bit about Tammy Tucky. She hosts the Tiara Talk Show, inviting actors, directors, animators, producers, composers, and theme park cast members to discuss their experiences working on various Disney films, television shows, and theme park attractions. Past interview credits include Academy Award-winning actress Susan Sarandon, Tony-winning composer Stephen Schwartz, the cast of Disney's Aladdin, actor Ed Asner, author Ridley Pearson, Grammy Award-winning singer Helen Reddy, and the beloved Debbie Reynolds. She's also a trained singer and actress, video and audio editor, and an Emmy Award-winning filmmaker. She has starred in over 20 theatrical productions, performing for thousands of people. Last year, she released her album, You'll Find Me on Main Street, performing beloved theme park music from Walt Disney World. Please welcome to the stage, Tammy Tucky. You got it.
Let me grab this microphone. Hi, everyone. How are you guys? It's nice to meet all 300 of you. So I just wanted to say that our next guest is someone who has worked for Disney for over the past 35 years, off and on, singing for the characters of Rita and Oliver and Company and Annette Funicello in Babes in Toyland for their Spanish dubs. She also wrote the Lilo and Stitch TV series theme song, Aloha y Como Mai. Let me flip the page. But she also sang that song for Leroy and Stitch, the movie, if anybody knows that one. But I think that we all know her very well for her wonderful and stunning portrayal of the song Two Brothers from the American Adventure. So it is my complete honor to welcome to the stage Allie B. Olmo. She's looking fabulous in purple today, right? Look at her go. So let's sit down and chat, although we've been doing this for quite some time in the past 3 days. But there are so many stories. I thought we would start out with your initial job for Disney, because this was before the American Adventure. So what brought you to Disney originally?
Well, I was living in Tampa and performing in clubs there and bars and stuff around campus. I started singing professionally in my senior year at USF. And I decided to come out to Disney, and I auditioned for Bob Cross. And so I became sort of the refill. I was the person that was the relief person for 3 different venues. So I would sing one night at the Golf Resort, one night at the Polynesian, and one night at Lake Buena Vista, when there was nothing there except a few stores and a very fancy restaurant.
Wowzers. And then you got to be a part of this project because you were telling me last night, and I completely forgot about the story, but refresh my memory, you knew somebody from the American Adventure project when it was being developed originally.
Well, I decided to move out to LA in '79 and stayed for about 3 months. I couldn't make headway anywhere, so I came back home because I had a lot of gigs in different colleges around Tampa area, and then decided that I wanted to give it another shot. And so I came back out in 1980 and stayed with a friend for a couple of weeks while I was trying to figure out where to live and find an apartment. And so during that time, she says to me one day, I want you to listen to this song, and I want you to learn it. And so she just played me a little bit. I said, oh, it's like an old folk song. And she goes, just learn it. And so just put it on a cassette. And so I did. I learned it and figured out, and then, of course, realized it was a beautiful song and very touching lyric. And so I put it on a cassette for her, and she put it on her boss's desk. And he said, who's that? Bring her in. And my friend was not trying to get me a job. What she was doing was she wanted to prove her point. They had already recorded a man singing the song. It was already recorded and done.
Oh, okay.
And she thought that it should be from a woman's point of view, that it would be much more poignant and touching if it was from a woman singing it. And so that's how next thing I know, it's like, you're going to Disney tomorrow. Work with Buddy Baker. And it was like,
What was he like?
Oh, he was so super nice and just let me do whatever. I said, can I do a second guitar part? Sure, go ahead. Can I do a vocal harmony? Yes, go ahead. Do whatever you want. So he just gave me free reign.
So you recorded the vocals and the guitar portion, but the rest of it was recorded by the Philadelphia Orchestra, correct?
Right, right.
And we found out, actually, somebody who's the pianist for my church, his first gig for the Philadelphia Orchestra was the American Adventure soundtrack.
Wow.
It was like, and I called Allie, I said, guess who I know? She's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when you finally finished the recording, you said that they showed you some models of like what they were trying to go for, so you could get like some type of sense of what the attraction was?
Well, no, I just got, I was invited to go see what it was going to look like, and it was just they had a to-scale model of the building, and then they put together, it was sort of like a slideshow, I guess, and it featured the Civil War segment. And so I got to sit there with the VIPs from Coca-Cola and American Express, who are the sponsors of that pavilion.
And what were your thoughts when you kind of saw that breakdown?
Cool.
You're like, oh, it's cool to be a part of this?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
So after the song is inserted into the attraction, when did you finally get to see it for the first time?
Oh, probably not till in the 80s when I came to visit home and I came over here.
And what did you think when you finally actually saw it and heard your voice on the just in the speaker system here?
It was like, I can't believe that's me. And it, also that recording, it was the beginning of digital. So that's how far back it goes. It was the beginning. I was like the first digital recordings that they did in studio. So.
Well, Allie and I played hooky from the dessert party because she had not seen the attraction in almost 35 years. Yeah. So our main thing was just to get a picture of her in the rotunda, and so we got to see the show, and I told the person at the front desk, I said, guess who's in the audience tonight? And so they announced it, and we saw the last show, and they so graciously allowed her to sing in the rotunda once it was closed out last night, which was amazing. I filmed it, so keep it posted.
And she sang too.
I sang with her, but we were just like, oh my gosh, it was beautiful. But what did you think when you saw it again? Because it's been updated and it has like surround sound so we can hear you.
Oh, no, the sound was just spectacular. I mean, the music is just so sweeping and moving. And yeah, I love seeing the new additions to the end of the montage. That was very cool, the updated.
And a couple of the cast members were mentioning that there was something very specific about that song because it's been asked by so many people specifically who sings it. So what did they say to you about that last night? Do you remember?
What did they say about? Oh, there was a woman who had been there. He kept saying that he wished we had been there the show before, because there was a lady who wanted to know who had sung the song and where she could get a recording of it. And they even called Disneyland or somebody there to find out the information.
Because I think they have it at the Great Moments of Mr. Lincoln now.
In Disneyland.
Which was a wonderful surprise when I went there. And then they said that the most asked question at Epcot is, who sings Two Brothers? Which is so unique. And the fact that I was able to find you, because I found her through a friend on YouTube and we got in touch, and that was quite amazing. So I think we got a chance. I was creating this Disney album of mine, You'll Find Me on Main Street, and I thought all the songs that touched me personally, one of them in Epcot was Two Brothers. So I found the song and I realized that there is a third verse. And I thought, well, I know Allie. Let me see if I have the kahunas to give her a call and say, hey, you want to be on my album? And I did, and Allie so graciously said yes. So she has not sung this song live in 35 years. Well, she never sung it live. You sang it in a recording studio.
That's right.
So we kind of put our own little twist to it, and she has a beautiful solo in it as well, too, guitar solo. So if you will give us the honor of being able to present it to you, we would like to do that. So, you ready? And while she's getting her guitar, I just want to let you know, we found out last night that the little girl in the Civil War scene apparently came to the American Adventure maybe 3 years ago and said, that's me. I have proof. And she said, can you stop the show so I can stand next to the AA? And they're like, well, you're going to have to jump and leap just to get to the AA. So there's no way, but they said they found her, which I thought was really cool. So the more you know.
Situated here.
So creating a little distraction while we're testing sound. I'm such a big fan of the attraction, so I tried tracking down a couple more people from the actual voice cast. So there's only a couple people who are left alive, and one of them I got to interview was the voice of Susan B. Anthony, and her name was Trish Patrill, so I found her on Facebook. And we were texting a little bit about the attraction because she went in for one day and she got to meet the voice of Mark Twain. And she said there were no audio recordings of Susan B. Anthony for her to base it off of. So she did a lot of research and heard that she had like a big brassy voice to go off of. So she said it was a unique experience because she was only like 26 at the time. But it's one of those things that she tells her students all the time because she's now a teacher. So I thought that was really interesting to find out where some of the voice cast are now.
Yeah.
And there's one, if you guys remember the George Washington the Revolutionary scene, the Revolutionary War scene, there's the one gentleman who has his hand on his hat and he's complaining about it's being cold. He's the voice of Scooby-Doo and Fred. Frank Welker is his name. So I found that out too. So there's only a couple of people who are still alive after all of these years. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. So, and Allie's still here, of course.
I'm
Thank
glad.
gosh.
I'm so happy to be here.
How are we doing, Hal? Are we good to go?
All right, we're
okay,
good to
here
go.
we go. Take two.
Take two. Take two.
Two brothers on their way, two brothers on their way, two brothers on their way. One wore blue and one wore gray. One wore blue and one wore gray, as they marched along the way. The fife and drum began to play, all on a beautiful morning.
One was gentle, one was kind. One was gentle, one was kind. One came home, one stayed behind. A cannonball don't pay no mind. A cannonball don't pay no mind if you're gentle or if you're kind. It don't think of the folks behind, all on a beautiful morning.
Two girls waiting by the railroad track,
Two girls waiting by the railroad track for their darlings to come back.
one wore blue and one wore black.
One wore blue and one wore black,
Waiting by the railroad track.
for their darlings to come back,
All on a beautiful morning.
Cannonball don't pay no mind
If you're gentle or if you're kind,
it don't think of the
folks behind, all on a beautiful morning.
all on a beautiful morning.
All on a beautiful morning.
Yeah, you guys should stand up for Allie over here. Come on. Get back up here, Allie. Get back up here. Come on.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Look at you go.
Thank you.